You're trying to lose weight and you're at your heaviest weight you've ever been. You feel so lonely trying to figure out why this is nothing working. Despite doing so many different kinds of diets, you're doing endless amount of cardio and you're cutting your carbs, but you feel like nothing is working. And when you look yourself in the mirror, you feel like you hate how you look and you have no confidence talking with clients and doing presentations. And when you're at social events with your colleagues or friends, you feel like you are saying no to so many food, snacking, temptations, alcohol, and you feel like no one gets you because it's just a different kinds of lifestyle. And you're probably thinking if this is worth it, but deep down inside, you just know that your health is at risk because of you not taking action. So in this video, I'll definitely share some tips how you can escape being lonely on this journey and what you can do instead so you can finally get the support that you need and having some strategies so you can lose the weight and keep it off. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on the bell to get notified whenever I'm making a new video about weight loss advice. I use these tips to lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 12 years, and also help several men and women lose the weight and keep it off, and I'm so pumped to help you as well. You've probably been on this isolation island where you feel like no one is getting you while you are trying to lose weight, and you're saying no to so many snacks and also just events with your family and friends, and you feel like you have to not having a social life because you're trying to lose weight and it feels so miserable. But to be totally upfront, when I was trying to lose weight, I felt the same way as you, that I was saying no to everything because I was not knowing any better. So what I was learning is that after trial and error, I was just figuring out, okay, I actually can have a social life, but the main reason that you have to consider when you're trying to lose weight is, of course, you need to have a calorie deficit in order, and also there could be 200 or 500 calorie deficit. Of course, you need to figure it out using a macro calculator to find out how much you need, and just following that, you'll lose weight very instantly. And just sticking to that, you'll lose weight all around your body. There's no fucking hell way that you can lose weight just from your face or your abs or what other bullshit people are telling you in their video with losing weight 2 weeks around your abs. That's just not possible. The reason why I want to make this is that I want you to have some straight up clear advice on what you should do if you're feeling so lonely, because when I was trying to do this on my own, I was just not being so knowledgeable in regards to what kind of foods I could eat. I was just thinking that there are some food groups that you can eat, like chicken, broccoli, and rice. That's the only thing I had to eat every single day for 5 days a week or 7 days a week until I lost the weight. But when you're trying to eat that shit for so long, it's just being very boring. And if you're going out with your friends and your family trying to be social, you're just not feeling that you're able to be there with them. I also want you to understand that just because you are a person who is getting invited to like parties with your family or events where someone has a birthday or weddings, you doesn't necessarily need to say no to all these things. But if you're also someone who is getting a lot of invitations, you also have to be more appropriate in regards to what kind of events you want to go to. Because when I was trying to lose weight, I was very social guy. I went to dance, I went to the gym. I was having a lot of friends, and these friends were also fine. But the problem is that when you're trying to be very dedicated on this journey, you don't necessarily need to always picking activities or social events where food is included. Because if you are always just going around with your friends and you are being social where there's going to a cafes or drinking, it's very difficult for you to stick to your meal plan and also your workout plan. Because if you're getting to invitations where you're the whole day away for like social gathering, like network events, it's difficult to follow your diet. So what I usually was doing is that I was proposing that let's, instead of just sitting on a cafe and drink some coffee, why don't we just take a cup of coffee and go around and just talk and get some steps in? Not because that steps is like some maybe so important for him, but it's just more fun than just sitting at a cafe and just talking. If you're going around in the city, it's just easier for you guys to get some fresh air and just seeing the city more. That's what I always find awesome. And if you're someone who's very into like sport like paddle tennis or swimming or playing golf, that's also a kind of fun way to do things where you are getting some steps, but also not just having all your social activities based around food. I think a lot of people, they think that just because you are being social, you have to include foods all the time. But that's just one of the reasons what I would recommend you guys. And I'm not saying that just because you are trying to lose weight, you should never include any foods when you're trying to be social. But I also want you to use more flexible dieting, which is another way that you can utilize so you're not feeling so lonely in this weight loss journey. When I was trying to lose weight, I was definitely just focusing on figuring out the basics when I was trying to lose weight. I already mentioned that you need to follow this calorie deficit diet, and you can make 2 or 3 different kinds of meal plans where you can rotate the different kind of meals using MyFitnessPal, because it has an inbuilt app where you can drag and drop the kinds of recipes that you want to eat. And when you've done that, that's just easy to like have different variations of what you can eat. And of course, if you're someone on the run as an ambitious professional, you of course need to meal prep your meals, because you don't need to go out and eat all the time. If you have meal prepped your meals, it's just easier for you to stick to your calories, because you just know that you're getting what you need. And you also have to stay dedicated. Dedicated just means that you have to following the same patterns, routines all the time. And if I would remember, I was trying to lose weight, I was going out and eating a lot at restaurants. I didn't feel like it was so nice eventually, because when you are trying to lose weight and you are going for a burger and a steak, it's very difficult to estimate how much the chef is putting of oil and butter, and that's just going to throw off your calorie deficit. Because I would love to know, what is your biggest takeaway so far from the video? Just comment below and let me know. If you're trying to lose 1 or 2 pounds a week, if you want to lose 1 pound a week, you have to be in a calorie deficit of 500 a day and times that by 7. So that's 3,500 calories to create that deficit through your diet. But if you're fucking going to a restaurant and you just eat what the fuck you want, and you have no idea how much oil and butter the chef is putting into your meals, you can just easily replace that through eating all the burnt calories back. So that's why tracking your calories are very important. And another thing I want you to understand is that if you want to, for example, use flexible dieting, that is very effective way to having a social life when you're using that, so you can still meet your goals of losing the weight like 1 to 2 pounds a week, but you can also still being able to have some socializing. So I always only recommend that for people who've been on a weight loss journey like 4 or 5 weeks, because you are in the beginning of your weight loss journey where you really need to build some habits with working out 4 times a week. You need to do your cardio on a cross trainer or stationary bike 20 minutes after you're working out with a heart rate of 120, 150. And then you also need the strength training to be based around compound movements, 3 types for each muscle groups. You also need 2, 3 isolation movements. You need to focusing on progressive overload, where you're constantly having a good range of motion with great proper technique, and also increasing the weight all the time for every set, because you want to push yourself out of your comfort zone and also have enough tension to break down these muscle tissues. And through rest and recovery, you are going to build these muscles even bigger, so you can lose weight faster, because more muscle just helps you lose weight faster. And you also need to get your steps in, like 6,000 steps a day. And if you're hitting plateaus, you need to increase that with 2,000 steps. So if you have done that, and you've been accustomed to that for 4 or 5 weeks, you can easily just transition into something that's called flexible dieting. But there's a good and bad thing about that, is that some people, they just being too laid back with this approach, that they just are not so accurate with the way of they are tracking it, because they're just thinking, it's just estimated about that with how much I need to eat. If you're constantly just estimating how much you're eating with flexible dieting, you're just not you're just eating 200 or 300 calories more. So with flexible dieting, let's imagine that you have a social event at evening where you are eating. You can go out with a friend where you are eating a pizza, and yeah. So let's imagine that you are using intermittent fasting, just like I'm doing. I am having my last meal like 9 p.m. the day before. I'm going to sleep 10 p.m. I wake up 7 a.m. and then I drink a liter of water and some black coffee, and then I take my ass to the gym and work out, and also going to the gym, like walking. So I need at least 2400 calories to be in a 200 calorie deficit, and I have 45% of my protein coming from my calories and 40% of my carbs coming from my calories. So the first meal after I've been working out and doing the steps, I am having that 11 or 12 p.m. And then I am eating like 500 calories or 600 calories. That could be a protein shaker of 90 grams of protein and 400 grams of skimmed milk. And then I have a couple of whole wheat toast with some low fat butter. So that would be like 500 or 600 calories. You have to put that into a calculator to figure that out, just to be more precise. So that's estimated about the first meal. And then the third meal, I'm making sure that I get all my proteins in, because like 70% of my protein, because if you are making sure that you want to lose weight faster, you of course need to hit your protein intake for the day. So for me, that's 250. So I have making sure that I'm getting most of my protein. So I already have 100 grams of protein through the first meal. And the second meal, that's like 3 p.m. That could be 200 grams of chicken, some ketchup, 2 eggs, some 100 grams of salmon. I mean, just do the math. That would be like 400 calories. So that's like 1,000 calories already. And I have some veggies like wok mix. So that could be 2, 4, 6. So that would already be 170 or 80 grams of protein. And the last meal, the third meal, that is just when you're going out with your friends and having that pizza. That could be like 1,000 calories or 1,200 calories. So we already have consumed, let me say, 180 grams of protein, and you need 250 grams of protein to hit your protein intake for the day. So if you have done that, you can just eat that pizza, and you already have eaten 1,000 calories, and you need to have 2,400 calories to be in a calorie deficit. So that pizza could be setting you up with 1,000 calories already, and then 1,200 calories for that pizza. So that's like 2,200 calories for the day. And in that pizza, I'll just estimate there's like 30-40 grams of protein. So that puts you to 230 grams of protein, and also you are already at 2,200 calories. And you can just go out and just eating that pizza and making sure that you have some chicken on top of that or other protein sources. And the last meal of the day, that could be some like 9 p.m. some Greek yogurt, where you're just eating that because you want to have some slow digestible protein to help you feel that you are actually not feeling hungry when you're going to sleep. And also some blueberries on top, because that's just helping you, just making it feel more tasty. And I think that if you're trying to lose weight and you are in a place where you're not getting the support yet you want, That's just easier if you are pairing up with someone who are on your same weight loss journey as you, because when you are having no accountability, not someone you can talk with in regards to if you fucked up or you need some support on why you're not seeing the results, and just talking through how your progress is, I definitely want to help you. So there's a link in the description where you can book a call with me where you and I can talk about your weight loss journey. I can give you some tips on how you specifically can lose the weight and keep it off, just like myself. And the link is in the description and also in the comment section. I look forward to talk with you, and if you're fit for what I do for my program, I'll definitely invite you into the program, because I just know that trying to lose weight on your own is very difficult. But if you have someone who's been through their own shit with not losing the weight and you really need the help, I'm here for you. Look forward to talk with you. Bye.